Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Oh, Al Patrono, I know exactly what you mean. Oh, good Lord. So this video should be a lot of fun. And the reason for that is I'm about to say a lot of things that people are going to think are really far-fetched or just they're not going to like what I have to say. So get ready because this video is going to be long and extensive. Okay? I think they're going to do the rate change. But I think there's something bigger and more sinister that's happening that people are either missing or it's just being hidden. I'm gonna run an idea that I have past everybody and see where we go with this. All right, so just follow me, okay? So we're gonna get started on here and let's have a little fun. I know. I just made a video not that long ago suggesting that people should be careful about mixing those tinfoil hat stories with what we could prove regarding our currency investments. I get that, okay? But once again, let's take that trip down a rabbit hole and let's see if we can find the answers to this naked question. How can Iraq put any exchange rate above $1? So let's go down that path, okay? No, not the white dragon family path, but through what I believe is to be closer to reality, okay? So I was sitting around and I was thinking, or I should say I was sitting around being a little angel and I was doing some thinking. I said, after all the research I've done regarding the dinar, to me, it's no longer whether the rate will change. There's no doubt it will. But the real question is, when and then how much would that rate change be, okay? So that's the big question. So the Vietnam dong and Iraqi dinar are in two different situations. The rates for the Vietnam dong is only being manipulated. There is only one thing needs to be done for the dong rate to change, and that's just to have the currency stop being manipulated. And I've been preaching to people for the longest time that once the China deal is done and China reinstates what their original rate or what the rate should be, that the Vietnam dong would be following shortly after that. Okay, that's just my opinion. Okay, but the dinar, on the other hand, this on the other hand is reliant on several things happening, and for the most part, all of those things are pretty much done. We just need the dinar to be recognized internationally and start training on the Forex along with their rate change to be announced, okay? So, what will be the rate? There is so much speculation on this question that it makes your head spin. I've heard rates anywhere from 2 cents, as low as 2 cents, to as high as $5 USD. We know the CBI has issued 51 trillion dinar out there. We know that. So, without knowing how much of these have been actually removed out of circulation, let's assume for the sake of this video that every single one of those 51 trillion dinars is in circulation. Or we can just find out for reals. We can just ask, hey, Doodlebug, there you are again. Since Doodlebug has a connection within the CBI, maybe we can ask Doodlebug to ask her connection if they know how much dinar has been taken out of circulation. This would help us out tons, Doodlebug. So if you know that answer, please chime in. I would appreciate that. Okay, so I want you to just take a look at this picture for a second. This is what it would look like if we took $100 bills, 100 US dollars, and we stacked them up neatly until they added up to $1 trillion. See this? I want you to take a look at it. Think about how much money that is, okay? That is a lot of money, okay? Now this, on the other hand, now multiply that times 24 trillion because that's where our national debt is. And this is what it looks like when you take these $100 bills and you stack them up neatly to come out to where our national debt is about right now. This was the Twin Towers. This is the Empire State Building. This is the Statue of Liberty. There's a damn crane on top of the money. That should give you at least a reality check on what type of money we're talking about, okay? So if we took $100 bills and we stacked them up neatly, this is what our national debt will look like, okay? So, no one knows exactly how much money has been issued by the Federal Reserve because they hide that. They hide that info from the public, and our government refuses to audit the reserves. Many times, somebody like Senator Rand Paul and his father, Ron Paul, have suggested that we need to audit them. We've had the auditor, or the people like Alan Greenspan and Ben Bernanke threatened that if you try to audit the Federal Reserve, they literally and purposely would crash our economy. That was their threat. So we have yet to really audit the our Federal Reserve. So we have no idea how much money they've ever actually issued out. They tell us one thing, but is that the truth? That's something totally different. So right now, here's where our national deficit is. If you go to, you can go to National Debt Clock and you can pull this up, or you can go to usdebtclock.org and see this because it's pretty interesting. There is a lot of other additional information in here that I'll go over some of it, but a lot of it's very interesting for the most part, all right? So, this is the same for every central bank. And when I'm talking about this mass amount of money generating, they just do this. There's no way for people to know. So how much currency has actually been issued? So how much debt is actually out there? Okay. So it seems like central banks around the world, and it's plain to see if you think about them, they are pretty much at the end of the rope. Okay. So, and then you add in the fact that our politicians, the bankers, are really good at controlling our politicians. So our politicians are being bribed through slush funds. You see people like Hillary Clinton who organize these foundations, and then they just run money through them. It's just funneling money to them. So this is one of their ways they can circumvent the so-called for donating to their campaigns. So campaign violations. These guys all create foundations. Hillary Clinton did them. A lot of these guys do it. John McCain did them. We all know what's going on with the Hillary Clinton thing. If you're not paying attention, then you need to. A lot of pay to play was done. So our politicians, they get rich off of these donations. So they create these foundations. So this is bad. So basically what the bankers do is they bribe our politicians to pass policies that benefit them. So they're not really in there to help the American people. That's not what they're in there for. Time and time again, we see this. Look at Joe Biden and the Burisma gas situation. His son sat on a board and made millions without any knowledge of gas at all. He got $1.5 billion from China. His brother, you guys can look this up. This is one that nobody really talks about. Joe Biden's brother got $1.5 billion for a housing project in Iraq. So go figure. So yeah, I wish they would investigate these crooks and get them out of the office, okay? So, but here's the thing. History has shown us that every 80 or so years, we move out of an experimental monetary system that we're in, and we move into a new one. As you can see, we are just about at that time right now, so it's time for us to move on again. I said this before, and I say it again. The government is really good at causing all the problems, and then they offer us solutions while blaming others for the problem. They're really good at that, and we're about to see that happen. And I'm going to show you where all this is going to. I know you're saying, so what? I know. You want to know what all this has to do with the IQD rate, and if it's possible. It was important for me, I think what I wanted to do at first was I think it's important to make a few points to get to where I'm going to go with all this, is what I'm trying to say, okay? Okay, so I'm trying to tell you that it seems to be a perfect storm happening. I see a combination of things happening all at once that seem to be related to what people are calling the global currency reset, okay? So, in my opinion, Dinar will come out at $1.34. Now, this is just my opinion, okay? I've seen this rate more than once, along with a plan that will lock this rate in for 3 years. This doesn't mean it'll happen. This only means, for the sake of this video, I'm going to go along with this plan, so calm down, people. So this was suggested, a rate of $1.34, and that they would lock it in for 3 years. So, how can Iraq set a rate at $1.34 when we know they've issued at least 51 trillion dinar? A rate of $1.34 would mean that Iraq would need to have over $68 trillion in assets to cover this. They don't have that amount. Or do they? Let me explain. So, ask yourself this question, or how I'll ask it to you. What gives this dollar its value? How do you know that that dollar is worth a dollar? You know what I mean? How do you know this is a dollar? By the way, to start out, real collectors know what that means. So, what gives a dollar its value? What gives anything a value? This is a 1943 copper penny. It sold for over $1 million for its condition. Why is it worth $1 million? Who said it was worth $1 million? How does anything get its value? That's the trick, okay? So, simply, if you think about it this way, okay, so here's how things get their value. It's really simple. You're told by our government that when they issue banknotes, that the denomination that is printed on a bill is worth what they tell you it is worth. People accept that explanation and they agree to accept the values. They are told, and so the banknotes are implemented into our lives as an instrument of payment, even though the truth of the matter is just a piece of paper with printing on it. It's nothing more. It's actually worthless. And the only reason it has value is because we accepted the value that was given to us, okay? That's the truth, okay? All right, so I need to take a drink for this one because I'm going to start explaining some stuff that's going to get in the bushes. All right, here goes down the crazy part, okay? Okay, a few things have happened since the year 2005 to 2009. We can see on this chart that the BRIC nations, we know who the BRIC is, Brazil, Russia, India, China, there's other ones now. They started buying up large amounts of goats, yes, they're buying goats, buying large amounts of gold. And this actually started before the 2008 crash. As a matter of fact, they really started stacking up in 2005. Which just tells me this, that they were already aware that the market was going to crash in 2008. But they're also, in my opinion, aware that something bigger is coming. Because look at this. These last 10 or so, 13, 14 years or so, we have seen all kinds of countries gobbling up gold. I mean, they are really stacking up. What do they know? Why is that happening all of a sudden? You know, that's the bigger question, okay? So I just wanted to show you that countries are buying up gold, and it's for a reason, in my opinion, okay? Also, what happened? Bitcoin was launched in 2009 as an alternative form of currency. This isn't a coincidence, by the way. Notice it happened right after the crash, okay? Again, we see a problem created by the government, and a solution follows shortly after. Bitcoin is being offered. Here's something that most people don't know. Do you realize cryptocurrencies started being developed in the 1970s? That's right, in the 70s. But magically, some guy named Satoshi Nakamoto that nobody knows created this Bitcoin, okay? Now, the thing is, when it comes to something new, a new type of monetary system, there's things you got to take in consideration, okay? So, something to think about. How do we get the masses to move away from the current monetary method of using paper dollars that everybody is used to into a new monetary system of using digital currency? And more importantly, why? Why do we want to move into this new system? I'll get into that a little bit later, but first we need to get into this digital currency acceptance. All right. So, what is cryptocurrencies? Okay. Well, if you really think about it, all cryptocurrency is digital banking. All right. That's all it is. It's this digital banking. We've had digital banking going back into the late 1800s. When for the first time we were able to send a wire transfer over the phone lines. So all cryptocurrencies is another form of digital banking, but with a nasty agenda behind it, I think, okay? And I'm going to get into that. So how do we first get the public to accept cryptocurrency? So here we go. First, you have to create a hype, And second, you have to know your target group. So who is the target groups? Well, teenagers, young adults. We need the younger generation to accept the changes first. This will help make the switch much easier. So when Bitcoin first came out, it was marketed as a peer-to-peer payment platform with total anonymity and very low fees. In other words, there was no way for the government to know what you were doing, why you were doing it, as well as who you were doing it with. In its first adoption, Bitcoin was being used mostly on the dark web. People were buying all kinds of illegal crap. They were buying guns, drugs. You know what I mean? There were kids like this kid here. I'm sure he's buying, not on so much on the dark web, but as he could buy across the internet using cryptocurrency, stuff that he might like, like baseball cards, comic books, just things like that, okay? This was really appealing to young people. You could take your allowance and buy things with it, but it was also very appealing to people who were on the dark web, okay? So I want you now to add in the fact that cryptocurrencies go up and down in value. And at one point, you could buy cryptocurrencies for a half penny. The youngest Bitcoin millionaire. Look at his baby face, okay? Some of these people got here by accident. I'm going to explain that. But for the most part, the first thing that attracted people to cryptocurrencies was total anonymity. You were able to do peer-to-peer business with somebody. So if I wanted to buy a freaking kilo of cocaine from somebody in Peru, all I would do is use my cryptocurrency over the dark web. Nobody knows who I am, sending it to nobody knows who's on the other end getting it. And then they would find a way to get it to me. That happened more than you know. So the first appeal was the total anonymity. The second part, which is people became rich, in my opinion, was set up. Because here's my question to you. What was out there that made cryptocurrency go up in value? What? Do you realize that most of the cryptocurrencies that are out there are held by what we call whales? That means the vast majority of the cryptocurrencies are, again, not out in the public, but in the hands of large adopters. These are usually the people that have created them. These are bankers. Okay, so most of the cryptocurrencies that are out there are not really in the hands of the public. They're mostly in the hands of these whales, private wallets, okay? But, so let's say little Johnny here, or Eric, by the way. I'm sure Eric wasn't buying, well, he might have been, but I'm just saying, let's just say Eric was, at the time when Bitcoin was a half penny. Okay, so when Bitcoin was half penny, he was getting his allowances, and he was buying cryptocurrencies. He's into baseball cards. I'm making a story up. I don't know if it's true. But let's say for the sake of being poor Eric here, he just happened to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. In other words, at a half penny, little Eric here ended up with 20,000 Bitcoins. 20,000 Bitcoins. Okay, so that's not too bad for little Eric there, who has no idea that he is holding at a half penny each 20,000, or no, he knows that he's holding at a half penny worth of value. He's holding 20,000 Bitcoins. Well, guess what happened to little Eric? Come along in 2017, Bitcoin skyrocketed to around $20,000 per coin. It turned a lot of young people into millionaires. So what drove up that value? There is nothing out there that drove that value up. To me, this is just another way to bring mass adoption to the masses. Okay, so first you have the peer-to-peer total anonymity. That draws a lot of people. The government doesn't know what you're doing. People love that kind of stuff. And then what happened was the people that were holding coins were lucky. Some people knew that it was going to go up in value. How they know, I don't know. But anyways, it shot up there. And a lot of crypto millionaires were created. And eventually the price came back down. So currently, I think Bitcoin is sitting at about $8,000 a coin. It's still not too shabby. But again, I still think there's a much more sinister thing happening behind cryptocurrencies, okay? So now we've created mass adoption and acceptance in cryptocurrencies. Around the world, cryptocurrencies, people invest in them. Everybody's hoping to catch that next ride Everybody wants to be a crypto millionaire, and in their hearts, they really believe this is going to happen. Okay, so because of hype like this, people from around the world have been dropping thousands of dollars into cryptocurrencies, hoping they could be lucky like those who did in 2017. You gotta love McAfee. He always speaks his mind. I'll eat my dick raw like a sushi if Bitcoin doesn't reach $1 million by the end of 2020. Do you see what I'm talking about? McAfee, you guys got to know this guy's story. First of all, he's the one that created McAfee security system for your computers. He's also a wacko that went on this, I don't know, he just kind of went running around from the U.S. for one reason or another. I think it was tax evasion, I might be wrong. Anyways, and then eventually killed somebody and came back over here. It's another side story. Go ahead and look into that. So you see this kind of hype. Do you see people already knew that a lot of people were turned into millionaires? A lot of the people have. So a lot of people are investing back into cryptocurrencies. I think they're being set up for a trap, in my opinion. Okay. So what is the next Bitcoin? What is the next great white whale that's out there? Okay. So the next great hope is, of course, Ripple XRP. Ripple XRP has been accepted by 56 central banks already and is currently used by MoneyGram. So before in the past, when people used to go to use Western Union or MoneyGram for that matter, you would pay a fee, a pretty large fee, and they would turn around and send money over to wherever you wanted to go. Now people use cryptocurrencies, and it's pennies on a dollar for fees compared to what they used to do before, and they're doing a large amount of it. As a matter of fact, MoneyGram is bitching to Ripple XRP that they're not fast enough. They have way too much, traffic. They need this thing to step up its game so that they could do it much faster, and that's currently being done. But think about this. It is currently being accepted by 56 banks, okay, as well as MoneyGrams. If you go to their website, you can see the contracts that XRP Ripple has with a lot of people. And now they're talking about going public with the IPO. Why? Why do you need to? Why would you want to? You already have a ton of liquidity, all right? So, which brings me to another thing. Next, I see the next part of this. What I want to say is this. Cryptos are just part of where I think we're going with all this, okay? So the next part's going to be gold and silver. For years, I've been hearing all the buzz about gold and silver values reaching enormous heights. And I want you to look at some of these claims by so-called experts and where they think the value of gold and silver is going to go. Let's just look at a couple of these real quick. Okay, so you have this guy saying it's going to go to 10,000. We're talking about gold, $10,000 an ounce. This is $20,000 an ounce. This person's saying $25,000 an ounce. This one's saying $50,000 an ounce. This one here is saying $100,000 an ounce. This one's saying that silver is going to go to $100 an ounce. This one's saying that silver is going to go to $1,500 an ounce. And this guy here is saying that gold is going to reach $120 or $120,000 an ounce, and silver will reach $5,000 an ounce. Okay, so we all know that gold and silver values are being suppressed. Okay, so if you want to get an idea where gold and silver values currently sit, you can go back to that national debt clock that I showed you before, and you go down into the right corner here. And just click on right here where it says precious metals, all right? It will open up this big screen for you, okay? And what you want to do is you want to go down to this section right here. Right down here, if you go to the bottom right section, you will see this. This is the dollar to gold ratio and the dollar to silver ratio. Most people believe this is the true value of gold and silver, okay? So, is gold and silver being suppressed? If you look at this, the hell yes it is, okay? Okay, so, what is this ratio? The ratio that we're showing, so let's just talk about the gold to dollar ratio, the US dollar to gold ratio. That is the year-over-year increase in the US M2 money supply divided by the yearly world production of silver in ounces, okay? So that's what that is. So this is supposed to be the true value of gold and silver. And in the past, the weird thing is that display that I showed you on the national clock, in the past, they only displayed what the current market value was of gold and silver. It wasn't until a few years ago that they started showing it this way, which is pretty interesting in its own. Okay, so once again, not only are several countries around the world buying up gold and silver, gold at a neck-breaking pace, by the way, but we also see a gold in reserves as well in Iraq. Why? Why since 2015 has all these, or 2005 has all these countries been grabbing up so much, as much gold as possible? What does this have to do with the dinar or any other currencies for that matter, okay? Gold and silver have been slowly creeping up, but most people haven't even noticed, which leads me to the final part of where I'm going with all this. Yep, that's right. The more I read and the more I research, the more I believe that we are heading into a global currency reset. Now I'm going to explain to you how they're going to do it. Okay? Not only are we moving into a global currency reset, but I think we're also moving into a new monetary system as well. And I believe it will be some form of the gold standard. I think it will also be asset-backed currency. You know, assets, not acid. Some people would like that, but no, it's asset-backed currency. But this isn't what catches my attention. This has been talked about, all this stuff I'm saying now, for quite some time, so it's not new. So are we going back to the gold standard? How? For all of you Q followers, Q told us already that we will be moving away from the Federal Reserve, and in fact, we can see Donald Trump has already been building up this move by bashing the Federal Reserve since he's been in office and appointing board members to the Federal Reserve that support his choice to move back to the gold standard, all right? Okay, so can Trump make such a bold move? If so, how is he going to be able to do this? Again, we're being tricked into thinking a problem is coming in which a magical solution will follow. This is just my opinion. In my opinion, these moves were already planned. If you think we will be moving away from the clutches of those greedy bankers and into a new, better system, you're sadly mistaken. So how do these major shifts take place without the public seeing the truth and the public also supporting this move, all right? First, we're going to need some distractions. Lots of distractions. And not just local distractions. I mean worldwide distractions. With villains to attack, such as our government. Something like impeachment, okay? So, think about that. What other distractions are we seeing? We are seeing protest. In every country, damn near, protesters are protesting against their government. This is a keen opportunity for people they're distracted away from what's going on around them locally. Look, even in Iraq, there's protests. So protesters will be blamed for part of what's coming, which was already coming regardless, which is a worldwide economical crash, by the way, okay? So the protesters are part of it. We know they are going to be part of this movement. Also, we need something besides impeachment. We need something besides the protesters. They've been going on for so long that people are bored with it. So what do we need else besides that? We need a virus. How about that? The coronavirus. A coronavirus that everybody can be focused on. If you're not focused on impeachment, then you're probably paying attention to the protesters. If you're not paying attention to the protesters, well, then you're probably paying attention to this virus that's killing people. And guess what you could do with this virus? Well, first of all, there are people being locked down into their countries. Another excuse for what? Oh, an economy to crash. Oh, it's getting worse because people can't get out there. Protesters are blocking you. People are locked in impeachment. Coronavirus will kill you. So this is all going to affect the economy. I just think, in my opinion, this is just an excuse that everything else was already planned. This is just what they needed to be a distraction. So we've all been told by experts worldwide that an economical crash was coming. Okay, so which is a problem created by the government in which they will provide the solution. Trillions of dollars in debt. How do we recover from this? So here's what I think is going to happen. Okay, they're going to raise the rate on the dinar. Yes, they're going to do it. How our government encouraged all of us to invest into the dinar, if you remember that. They asked us to invest into it for a reason. We will see a rate above $1. This is, again, is just my opinion. This will create a bunch of new millionaires everywhere. So what are they going to do? You will turn around and dump it right back into our local economy to help soften the economical blow. We're all about to get that's coming to us here pretty quick. In fact, I think we're going to see most all currencies get some type of reset against assets, which is how they can afford to raise the rates. So if currencies are going to be reset against commodities, which ones? Because you have to be careful about which commodities you touch. You can't raise the price in agricultures, water, nor minerals. That would have a negative effect on the economy. We need to try keeping the cost of food down. If whatever's coming, it's important for the cost of food to stay low. So we don't want to do anything as far as agriculture is concerned. Sure, you could raise the cost of oil. I think that's going to happen, but just for a short period of time. And so that even this is not going to be enough to help handle the currency rate changes or the resets of the currencies. As a matter of fact, I really think the goal is to get oil down to around $25 a barrel. So what are the two items you can seriously raise the value of and have a positive effect on the world? Of course, silver and gold. This is how they'll be able to handle the currency reset, is by raising the value of gold and silver. This is why you're seeing countries around the world storing up huge amounts of gold and silver. As a matter of fact, Trump, when he first got into office, opened up 5 huge warehouses, like Comexes, okay, in Texas to store silver. 5 huge ones. But okay, so this is just part of the solution. You're also being duped, in my opinion. Duped into helping the government pay down some of this worldwide debt. How, you ask? Simple. When you're buying cryptocurrencies, so when you buy cryptocurrencies, yep, that's right, cryptocurrencies, what the hell are the cryptos? All they are is digital currency. So what? And what is 90% of the worldwide debt in? Yep, it's in digital money. You're being duped, in my opinion. You're being duped into paying for some of the debt, if not most of the debt, and here's how. So just like so what gives cryptocurrencies its value? It's the same thing that gave the fiat currencies their value. You're being told that the values are what the values are, and you accept it. After Bitcoin turned several young people into millionaires in 2017, people have been buying cryptos around the world. Once the currencies reset, once this happens, people are going to be looking in for the next rush, that next fix, another way to add millions to their bank accounts. And where will most of these people go? People will rush right over to the crypto market. Here's the crazy thing. As speculators jump into the market, the value of cryptos will skyrocket, attracting more and more people into this trap. Essentially, what you're doing is a form of cost sharing. We already had digital banking, and now all these bankers did was take the debt, create a fictitious crypto coin, and sold it to the public who have dreams of getting rich off of this. But in the end, it all goes right back to the banks regardless. Each central bank is currently creating a stable coin. So, what is a stable coin? A stable coin is a price-stable cryptocurrency whose market price is pegged to another stable asset, such as gold and silver, okay? So, We will see solutions including making the public feel safe by claiming that cryptos will be backed by gold as well as other assets. But how do we know? I mean, if you think about this, how the hell do we know this is really happening? I mean, the same people who put us all in this worldwide debt shithole are the same people offering us to help get us out. In other words, the government creates the problem and then offers us a solution that we'll accept, and then they'll find other ways to shift the burden and the blame. That's what's going to happen. In the end, we'll realize that we were all duped. They'll give us riches, they'll give us riches. This is going to happen through the rate change and so forth. So they'll give us riches through huge gold and silver price increases, which now give them equity. Okay, so you're going to swap your money for the gold and silver. The equity will then change the rates of several of these cryptocurrencies. And again, people will get rich off the cryptocurrencies. So you're going to get rich off the raise in the value of the gold and silver if you have it. You're going to get rich at the skyrocketing cryptocurrencies as it happens. Okay. But really, all you're doing is, if you think about it, is let me see if I can word it this way. To me, this appears to be another version of slapping lipstick on a pig. Okay, that's what it looks like. All the digital debt that we have out there, how all they're doing is their lipstick is turning it into a digital currency. Okay, a currency that you will own that will have a lot of value in the beginning. But think about this. What happens if we move 100% into blockchain technology and we are forced to use cryptos, and they do away with fiat currencies like most think that will happen? We're going to go 100% digital is the cheer from the crypto world. So what are you going to do once these crypto, if that happens and you have all those riches? What are you going to do once the value of those cryptos start coming down? What are you going to exchange it for? If we're 100% digital and there's no fiat currencies out there, how are you going to get out of this market? You can't exchange it for anything. Eventually, we will all be pushed into, into accepted currency, this new accepted currency that will be issued to us. So what just happened? All your riches are gone. The worldwide debt has been drastically reduced thanks to increases in gold and silver prices, which will eventually go down over time once they no longer need it. It'll still stay kind of high, but it'll drop down. This happened before. And as all you wise investors that bought into the whole crypto hype, we just witnessed the worldwide lop on currencies and debt. Think about this. All you people are worried about your currencies being lopped. But doesn't it make sense? Wouldn't it make sense if I was a government, first thing that's going to help me to support all the increases in rates? Increase the value of silver and gold. I mean, increase it a lot. Yes, you're going to create millionaires. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Second, you're going to reset all the global currencies. Yes, you're going to create a lot of new millionaires. We know that. Okay? Then these same millionaires are going to dump a lot of that money and they're going to invest it into cryptocurrencies, and eventually that will skyrocket. Yes, all these people will be rich, but it doesn't make a difference to the powers that be because all that money comes right back. They know this. We have seen historical proof that this happens. Okay? So in the end, the bankers are going to get everything they just gave away. Eventually, most of the people will have wasted all their monies buying frivolous crap. Shit you don't need. We see it happen all the time. People will make bad investment choices. And I'll prove it to you. Over 85% of the people or millionaires that were created by the rate change of the Kuwait dinar were flat broke within 5 months. So all those millionaires that were created by the Kuwait dinar were flat broke within 5 months. Super lotto winners are usually flat broke within a single year. That's after winning hundreds of millions of dollars. So within 1 year, they've frivolously screwed off hundreds of millions of dollars. I heard NFL player Marshall Lynch the other day. He made this statement that caught my attention. This is what he said. NFL players are flat broke after 2 years of retiring. And this is after making hundreds of millions of dollars. So will global currency reset happen? Yes, it's going to happen. How does this happen? They're going to change the rate, like I said. You're going to be happy. Look, our government encouraged us to invest in a dinar. You think they're going to screw the people over? No, they have to screw them over in a way in which they don't realize they've been screwed. That's what's going to happen. They're going to raise the rates. You're going to get your money. A lot of people are going to make bad choices. Now, I know you're one of the people going, I'm not going to be one of those people. Trust me, everybody said that. Okay? So just be wise about what you're doing. People are going to become rich. They're going to make bad choices. You're going to buy frivolous crap. You're going to buy things you really can't afford, even though you got millions. And that money is going to disappear quicker than you know. So sure, they're going to give you the rate change. Sure, they're going to give you the money. Sure, you're going to get rich. But who cares? The money's just going to come right back to them. It's going to come back to them in a way of an economical bump. The economy is going to be stimulated. This is going to help slow down this crash that's coming, or at least soften the blow. That's what's really going to happen. Most of you people are going to turn around and dump your money into cryptocurrencies. I really think cryptocurrencies are a trap. I really think all that is just a slick way that these bankers found to make you pay for the debt that's out there, most of it. So if we're already doing digital banking, why the hell do you need any kind of crypto? I can go onto my bank account and digitally buy whatever I want. I could use my ATM card. So what the hell is the difference between a cryptocurrency and my ATM card? Seriously, come on, people, use your heads. Okay? There's no difference. This stuff's already there. They just tell you, ooh, cryptocurrencies. This is the magic that they're going to produce. They're going to do these wonderful things. They're going to have lower fees. Yeah, I believe that's going to happen. And the gold's going to get rid of the Federal Reserve. Oh, get rid of the evil people. See, they created a problem. They're giving a solution. Get rid of the evil bankers, but you're not really getting rid of them. Cryptocurrencies are being generated right now by central banks, which means they've already adopted this idea. They first needed to get the masses to buy into it, and you bought into it. When Bitcoin first came out, like I said, the lure of it was the fact that you could do stuff with total anonymity, and a lot of people did. A lot of people bought and did illegal shit with it. They still do it today. But some of those people became millionaires because magically, for some strange reason that nobody can provide, a legitimate reason, okay, it shot up to $20,000 a coin. All that was just to get people hyped up so that there will be mass adoption, and it's worked. Around the world, people are able to buy cryptocurrencies. All you're doing is spending your money. So when the cryptocurrencies go up in value, most people, by the time this rate change happens, by the time most of you are even aware and you start to jump into the crypto markets, these cryptocurrencies are going to be already high in value. Hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. Right now, for $80,000, I could buy 10 Bitcoins. Right now, 10 Bitcoins. I want you to think about this. So I just took $80,000 of my fiat money. I bought 10 Bitcoins. Congratulations. I'm happy with it. Oh, what? We're not going to use fiat currency no more? Okay, fine. I still have $80,000 in digital currency. Until when? We're all now in cryptocurrencies. There's no more fiat. There's nothing for you to exchange it with. What do you think they're going to do to you? They're just going to lower the value of your coins. Eventually, we're going to get on this par, these stable coins, where all the coins we use are just like digital money. So instead of issuing out banknotes at $1, $5, $10, $100 increments, you just get a coin. And that one coin will be worth $1. And you can have as many as you want. That's fine. And you just swap cryptocurrencies back and forth because all it is digital. It's not real paper money. Okay? But meanwhile, you just spent a lot of money buying cryptocurrencies that eventually will drop down most likely to a dollar for dollar rate. That's it. No lower, no higher. It's going to be regulated. You're going to pay taxes on them. There's going to be fees. Sure, they tell you right now, oh, it's cheaper. Nope. They will find an excuse. Every excuse in the world to raise the fees on these. They will find every excuse in the world and find ways to tax your ass. If you own bills, they're going to find ways to garnish your money because it's digital. You can't hide it. They're going to find ways to take it from you. If you owe back taxes, you ever have the Uncle Sam just come and take your money and then you have to go fight to get it back, especially if they wrongfully took it? That's going to happen to your cryptocurrencies. Okay? So they don't give a crap if you get rich off the rate change. They don't give a crap if you get rich off gold and silver. They don't give a crap if you get rich off cryptocurrencies. Because eventually what's going to happen is you're just going to dump most of that money into the crypto world. It's going to be used to help bring down the worldwide debt to something reasonable. The gold and silver is going to help bring down that debt to something reasonable. And then eventually it's just going to platform off into one value. Meanwhile, you just help soften a worldwide economical crash with all the money that you just made. And I'm venturing to say that by the time this all calms down, let's just say for rounding purposes, let's say there was 1 million millionaires created. When it's all said and done, there will probably be less than 1% of you will still be a millionaire. From bad choices, fees, and the devaluation of cryptocurrencies. Or should I say, a lop on cryptocurrencies. All right. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Hit the thumbs up button, or most likely thumbs down for all you people who have big dreams. Sorry. Be happy that you're going to be able to at least experience a lot of money for a short period of time. And if for those of you who are wise enough, you're going to learn how to invest it properly. In my opinion, buy gold and silver while it's cheap. If the gold and silver stays down when the rate change happens, I encourage you to buy a ton of it. As far as cryptocurrencies, they're going to be a small window of opportunity. Buy a low. Give it a short period of time, and then I get the hell out of there if I was you. Okay, that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. I'm sure some of you more wiser, economical, wise people will have solutions or answers to a lot of what I'm saying. All right, let me know.